What's up, y'all? Reggie here with another video. And I want to piggyback off the one I just recorded about pimping, hoeing, pimpology, etc., etc. And, you know, I mentioned in my other video how, quote unquote, easy it might be to get swept up into this life and this lifestyle or whatever. Because I've had a couple of situations over the years where, you know, I've been propositioned by a woman, a female, what have you, lady, whatever floats your boat, whatever is less offensive to you today. But I've had a couple of instances where a woman is down on her luck, needing money, etc., etc., and is like basically saying, I had one just come out flat out and ask me, would I for money, and did I know anybody who would? This is a very, you would not think this of this person if you met her or talked to her, because of other situations that went on in her, you know, in her life. And just like that, excuse me, if I had been quote unquote weak, which I didn't accept, but if I would have been quote unquote weak, I would have made that play. And then what? I'm a smart, trustworthy guy. Well, why don't I help you with this? I know a guy who will probably, I know a couple of guys we can make some money off of, you know, who probably doesn't. And the next thing you know, you're in this lifestyle, and you're a pimp by any other stretch of the imagination, and you have a quote unquote hoe, whatever, you know, lady or trick, whatever the case is. I don't know what, you know, whatever terminology you want to use. So again, I don't necessarily just judge negatively all these people or think that this stuff is benign, or that you have to be some horrible person to be in either one of these positions. And you know, next thing you know, you might be making money hand over fist, and your lady or whatever. And you're quitting your 9 to 5. You got some high-end clients. Go up to the, you know, just like in my other video. I don't even want to go down that road. But you know, you get in some certain high money areas, shall we say. And by the way, what I touched on in my last video involved high school age women, young ladies. I haven't heard anything else about that, but again, we don't want to go down that road. But yeah, that was locally. So you know, money, sex, what else do you need? But you know, so when I talk about this stuff, or if I make comments about it, I just want people to know where I'm potentially coming from, and that I'm not coming from this place of not understanding or being able to appreciate how easy it is, or tempting, or whatever the case is. There's a lot of tempting things. There's a lot of tempting things I've could have done. You know, you see a person and how much money they make off selling crack. I've seen a lot of money, and it's tempting. So, but yeah, I just want to do a quick video talking about that, how easy it can be, and the fact that I could have, you know, that I had this opportunity, and how it can fall in your lap or fall in anybody else's lap. And as these pimps say in these interviews, like, this is what they need, basically. It's like a vampire. You know, it's like they ask, what type of lady, what type of situation do you need? How do you go about, you know, and it's all of them basically tell you they need a woman who is going through, who is vulnerable. And then another thing I want to talk about too later is, just because you have a couple of women who make it out the other side and can go through life relatively normal or whatever, et cetera, I'm pretty sure that those people are the exception and not the rule. And as we could see also, because plenty of these people also do interviews, I've come across a couple, and they tell you about all kinds of it that they went through and go through, that they went through during and when they got out, and that they still go through, and how it affected their life negatively, et cetera, et cetera. It's just, it's amazing to me how this is a culture that is so well accepted and talked about as if, again, like it's nothing. And like you aren't doing the same thing that slave drivers do and did. And how you're not abusing women and putting your hands on women in many cases, and in many cases dealing with sexual abuse, and just taking advantage of vulnerable women, et cetera, for your own ultimately greedy purposes. And just because you can help them make money and wear the same thing you wear, Don, Bishop, Magic Wand, or whatever, and rock the same fur and shoes and cars, that you think that you really elevated them, or whatever the case is. And I'm sure you will find a couple, you know, you will always find a certain percentage, but I'm betting it's going to be small, that will say after it's all over or whatever, that, yeah, I'll still love that man, whatever, yeah, he elevated me. But I guarantee you that's the exception and not the rule. So, it's just funny to me, and I want to resist the idea that this is legitimate business or something that anybody should ever really think about getting into. And again, you could wind up doing a lot of jail time and or end up dead. You know, a higher, I mean, I can end up dead, you know, getting out of bed, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you're obviously putting energy into a system that has a high risk value for you having a bad outcome or 3. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of follow up and do another video on that while I felt like it and while it was at the top of my mind. So looks like it's getting ready to rain. I'm getting ready to pull up at the house and maybe fire up the grill again and have a little dinner. Check y'all later, man. Peace, love, and light.